This is WRR, Dallas.
Afternoon, as they were last night. Terry Poole will lead off, and he'll be the center fielder. Enos Cabell will play third and bat second. Again today, Cesar Cedeno, the designated hitter, and he'll hit third. Jose Cruz is in right field. Dave Bergman at first base. Dennis Walling starting in left field, batting sixth. Julio Gonzalez is the second baseman, batting seventh. Ed Herman will be doing the catching this afternoon, and Roger Metzger will play short and bat ninth with J.R. Richards on the mound. For Texas, Mike Hargrove, the leadoff man at first base. Toby Harrell will bat second and play third. Al Oliver will be in left field. He's the third place hitter. The designated hitter, Richie Zisk. Claudel Washington is the right fielder. In center, batting sixth is Juan Beniquez. Bump Wills is the second baseman, hitting seventh. Bert Campaneris, the number 8 hitter, and he'll be the shortstop. And Jim Sundberg, the ninth place hitter, and he'll be doing the catching for the Texas Rangers here against the Astros. Meeting at home plate just about to break up. Bill Verdon brought out the lineup card for the Astros. Billy Hunter, the manager of the Texas Ball Club. The umpires, Darrell Merrill, will be behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Joe West at first, Al Clark at second base, and Eric Gregg will be the third place umpire for the ball game here in Little Rock today. We'll be back with the first pitch as the Astros play the Rangers right after this.
A fresh new slice of apple pie from your good friend Chevrolet. A car that fits America the way it is today.
As is our way, America. We took a look at where you were heading, then invented an ideal car to get you there. Chevy Malibu, a new size, quick size, mid-size car that's a real kick to drive, with even more headroom, legroom, and trunk room than last year's Malibu. I think you're going to find a large slice of America is going to be moving to the new Malibu.
A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu. Have we got a car for you, America? Have we got a car for you? A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu. It's going where you're going, and it's going there in style. A new size Malibu that's sure to make you smile.
We made Malibu just for you, America, just for you today. It's loaded with fresh ideas, plus that deep-down Chevy value you love. Come on to Malibu, America.
A fresh new slice of apple pie from your good friend Chevrolet. A car that fits America the way it is today.
The Texas Ball Club just now taking the field here at Ray Winder Park. J.R. Richard has completed his warm-up tosses and heads in from the left field bullpen toward the Astro dugout. And Doyle Alexander takes the mound for Texas. Don't forget, we'll be on the air again tomorrow afternoon against this Texas Ranger Ball Club. Joe Niekro will be doing the pitching for the Astros, and Texas will counter with right-hander Doc Ellis. Will be on the radio side at 12:50, 10 minutes until 1 o'clock. Again tomorrow afternoon. That ball game will be televised as well on KPRC in Houston and on the Astro Television Network as well. And the TV hookup time will be 1 o'clock tomorrow. Then the barnstorming tour will conclude on Monday in San Antonio. The Astros and the Rangers. It'll be Doc Medich for Texas and Walkie Nanduar doing the pitching for the Astros in that one. Astros will return home Monday evening following that ball game and play an exhibition contest Tuesday evening in the Astrodome with the University of Houston. And Wednesday travel up to College Station to meet Texas A&M in an exhibition game. And immediately following that ball game, we'll be heading to Cincinnati to open the regular season, the championship season for 1978, with an afternoon contest on the 6th. That's next Thursday against the Cincinnati Reds. Boy, that is just around the corner. We'll be in Cincinnati Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All afternoon games with the exception of the Friday night game. And then back home to open the Astrodome season on Monday against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers will be in town for 3 games. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's the 10th, 11th, and 12th of April. All 3 games beginning at 7:35. I hope you're making plans to get out. That's going to be a good series. And then the Cincinnati Reds are in town over that weekend with the Friday and Saturday night games. And then we'll conclude the first homestand of the year on the 16th with a Sunday afternoon contest against the Cincinnati Reds. And that will begin at 2:05. So a lot of baseball in store for us. And it's not that far away. We're all set to play ball here in Little Rock this afternoon. Jim Sundberg fired the ball to second base, and the Rangers whip it around the infield. Doyle Alexander, the right-hander, with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses this spring. And as we mentioned, it'll be J.R. Richard for the Astros, who's 0-1. Alexander, although he has won 2 games this spring, has been knocked around fairly well. He has an earned run average of 5.14 coming into this one, as opposed to J.R.'s mark of 2.84. Here's Terry Poole. Left-handed hitter steps in, and the first pitch is low and outside, ball 1. Poole batting .265 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Terry hammers it to first, right through the legs of the first baseman, Mike Hargrove. It'll be an error. Poole around first. He's going to dig for two, and Washington's throw will be not in time. Poole moves up to second. That's an error all the way. Ground ball right through the legs of the first baseman, Mike Hargrove. And Poole winds up at second, alertly taking advantage of Washington's lethargic move to get the ball back into the infield and right field. Runner at second with nobody out. Just started, and here's Enos Cabell. Pretty little ballpark here in Little Rock. Cabell hitting from the right side, and Alexander deals, and there's a fly ball deep right field, way back down the line, but it's foul. Out of play just over the small fence there beyond the Texas Ranger bullpen. 330 down the left field line and 345 down the right field line here at Ray Winder Park. 390 to straightaway center field. But the fence is double-decked. It's at least 20 feet tall, maybe 25 feet tall. No homers, 2 RBIs for Cabell. He has a chance right here with Poole. Good speed at second base. Off-speed pitch from Alexander is high. 1 ball and 1 strike. From the point of view of stuff, we probably saw Texas' best pitcher last night. In Matlack, he has a pretty good fastball, but in terms of being the accomplished pitcher, you have to look to Doyle Alexander. He knows how to pitch. Pickoff play at second, and Poole slides back in safely with Wills, the second baseman taking the throw. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Nobody out. Runner at second base, top of the first. Alexander at the belt. Checks Poole. Now the pitch, and Cabell hammers it past the first baseman, Hargrove. He got a glove on it, knocked it down. Poole's going to round third. The ball trickles into shallow right. Hargrove runs it down. Poole scores, no throw, and the Astros lead 1-0. That will be a base hit off the glove of Mike Hargrove. Hargrove got a glove on the ball and had it trickle away from him about 15, 20 feet out in the shallow right field. Well, the Astros have a run across with nobody out. Cabell at first, and here's Cesar Cedeno. Alexander, 27 years old, won 17 ball games a year ago, 17 and 11. There goes Cabell. Here's the pitch, a base hit on the hit and run in the right center field. Cabell's around second, heading for third. Benitez makes the pickup. They're going to stop Cabell at third, and going into second is Cedeno. Cabell had ideas of trying to score, but Tony Pacheco, who's coaching third today for the Astros, stopped him there as he rounded the bag. 2 base hits for Cedeno, and the Astros have runners at second and third with nobody out. Here's Jose Cruz. Cedeno's 6th double of the year. Alexander stretches now the pitch, fastball, swing and a miss by Cruz, strike 1. Jose comes into the .323 batting mark. 1 homer and 4 spring runs batted in. Alexander at the belt. He wheels again. This pitch is high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 21 innings of work, 26 hits allowed for Doyle Alexander. 13 runs, 12 earned runs. He struck out 9 and walked 7. This is his 6th appearance, his 5th start of the spring. 1-1 pitch to Cruz, a fastball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Well, Poole reached on the error by Mike Hargrove, the first baseman. He wound up at second base. Cabell singled him home, and Cedeno has doubled Cabell the third. Runners at second and third, nobody out. 2-1 pitch is low. 3 balls and a strike to Cruz. Dave Bergman, playing at first base for the Astros, is on deck. Cruz will be looking for a pretty good pitch to hit here on 3-1. It's inside, gets away from Sundberg, goes back to the base of the stands. Here comes Cabell in to score. And moving over to third is Cedeno. So ball 4 to Cruz. Turns out to be a wild pitch. I think they rule it. Cedeno moved up to third. The Astro lead is 2-0, and Dave Bergman is up there with runners on the corners at first and third. Still nobody out. Bergman's official spring mark, 161. Tossed to first, and Cruz got back sliding. Alexander threw the ball wide to the right field side of the bag, and Hargrove had to come off first base to make the play. Another move, and it gets away from Hargrove. Here comes Cedeno, trying again from third, and Cruz is going to go over to second base. Astro lead is now 3-0. Another error charged to the Texas Ball Club, I would assume. Well, they have to give an error to somebody, and they will probably give it to the pitcher, Alexander. Here's the pitch to Bergman. It's high, ball one. Astros have jumped to a 3-0 lead on a couple of hits and a couple of errors. 1-0 pitch. Bergman takes it inside. 2-0 the count. Alexander, 6'3", 205 pounds, born in Alabama, now makes his home in Arlington, Texas. The 2-0 delivery is high, a fastball, and Bergman has a 3-0 count. He'll look to Tony Pacheco at third base, the coach over there. Deacon Jones coaching in the first base box. Three-0 pitch. Bergman takes the call strike on the inside corner, taking all the way. 3-1. Dennis Walling is on deck. 3 runs are home. Cruz at second, and a 3-1 count to Bergman. Here's the pitch, and a ground ball right side. Wills to his left, gloves it on the edge of the grass in the outfield, and makes the play to first to Hargrove. Bergman is retired, and on the play, Cruz moves up to third. That's the first out on the ground ball to Wills, and Dennis Walling will bat. Walling playing in left field. He's hit the ball sharply this spring. Texas infield is in. 1 out runner at third. Here's the pitch. Alexander brings it in low and inside. Ball one. Walling, a left-handed batter. Here's the next one on the way, and it's high and outside. 2-0. There's the next pitch, a high pop-up off the left side. It's foul. Toby Harrah chases over, but it's going to be well out of play. And a number of young fans battle for the souvenir baseball. 2-1 the count. Harrah at third, Campaneris to shortstop, Wills second base, and Hargrove at first. With only 1 out, the infield remains in. In the outfield, Oliver in left, Bonica's center, and Washington in right. Sundberg doing the catching, Alexander on the mound. 2-1 pitch is high and outside, 3 balls and a strike to count. Now Alexander calls time and asks the plate umpire Derwood Merrill something. He's satisfied, 3 balls and a strike to count, and he's set to go back to work. Here's the pitch. He jammed him, and the pitch is foul out of play, back up under the roof off the left side. So the count is now full, 3-2. Good crowd on hand on a perfect day for baseball in Little Rock. We really didn't expect weather like this, but it is outstanding. And the weather reports from Tulsa, where the 2 clubs will be playing tomorrow afternoon. Weather reports have been good from Tulsa. Here's the stretch and the 3-2 pitch, and he struck him out. A swing and a miss. Walling got a little piece of the ball, and Sundberg hung on. First strikeout for Alexander, 2 men gone, and Julio Gonzalez, the Astros second baseman, steps in. Sundberg goes out to talk with Alexander. Poole, Cabell, and Cedeno have scored. Cruz, the runner at third, he's over there with 2 men gone. Art Howe getting the afternoon off, at least for a while Julio Gonzalez plays second base. Alexander continues to work from the stretch, and there's a ground ball to the right side. Wills can cover the ground, moves to his left, and makes the play to first, and that retires the side. Gonzalez with a pretty good hit ball toward the hole on the right side of the infield, but Wills went over there and made the play to get Gonzalez. And the Astros are retired in the first. 3-run score, however. 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the first with a score. The Astros 3 and Texas coming in to hit.
Make it good, like a mountain morning sunrise, coming slowly through the trees, like an eagle when it spreads its wings across the blue sky breeze. It's all as big and bold and free, contagious without soul. It's a part of what you're dreaming, make it yours. Make it good for a taste of morning sunshine. Morning sunshine. Make it good. Make it right for you and me. For you and me. Taste the wide open sky. Taste the Rocky Mountain high. Make it good. Make it yours.
Come to the bottom of the first here in Little Rock. The Astros have jumped to a 3-0 lead over the Texas Rangers, and J.R. Richard takes the hill. This will be the 5th start for J.R. this spring. He's worked 19 innings, allowed 19 hits, and 7 runs, of which 6 have been earned. He has 12 strikeouts, and he's walked 5 men. No wins and a loss this spring for J.R. Astros come into this ball game with a record of 8-10. The Rangers, counting the win last night, 13 wins and 7 losses for the spring, so they've had a pretty good spring. Connie Ryan, the third base coach for Texas. Fred Koenig across the other side at first base. Astros defensively have Enos Cabell at third, Roger Metzger at short, Julio Gonzalez at second, Dave Bergman at first. And the outfield, Dennis Walling in left, Terry Poole in center, and Jose Cruz in right. Ed Herman doing the catching. And J.R. Richard is the pitcher. It'll be Mike Hargrove to lead off, the Texas first baseman. He'll be followed by Toby Harrah and Al Oliver. Richard, 28 years old, 6'8", 237 pounds, out of Ruston, Louisiana. Here's the windup of the first pitch from J.R. Fastball high, a ball 1. J.R.'s last outing was Monday against the Minnesota Twins in Orlando. He worked 6 innings in that ball game. That's the longest J.R. has worked this spring, 6 innings. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Hargrove, and a pop-up foul out of play off the left side. That'll send the youngsters scurrying for a souvenir. 1-1 the count. Hargrove batting .250 for the spring. Richard's pitch is a little high, says plate umpire Derwood Merrill. 2-1 the count. Richard right back with the next pitch. Here it is. And a foul ball again off the left side, out of play. 2-2 the count. That Texas, after Billy Hunter took over that club a year ago, or into the season of the 77 season, they did some kind of turnaround. They won 60 and lost only 33 under Billy Hunter. Not too bad. Here's the 2-2 from Richard to Hargrove, and a ground ball to second. Gonzalez gobbles it up and goes to Bergman at first. Hargrove is out 4-3. 1 out of the Texas first, and Toby Harrah will hit. Have a giant scoreboard here in left center field. It extends even higher than the double-deck fence. Wind picking up a little bit, you can probably tell. Pitch to Harrah, fastball low from J.R., ball 1. J.R., when he has that slider working, is extremely tough. 1-0 pitch. He changed up a little bit. Brought it in high and tight for a ball. 2-0 to count. Astros scored 3 in the top of the first to go out in front. JR rocks back in the 2-0 pitch. Hara missed it. Tried to check. Did not have a very healthy cut at that one. 2-1 now. Astros straight away for Hara. There's a high fly ball back toward the bullpen. Bergman giving chase. He might catch that ball. He didn't. He was battling that wind and chasing it back over toward the fence, and it would have been an extraordinary play had Bergman been able to come up with it. But it dropped just out of his reach. So it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. When the ball left the bat, you felt there'd be no way that Bergman would be able to get down there after that ball. But the wind is blowing across from right to left, and the wind kept blowing it back in toward the playing field, and it dropped in play just inside the fence and just out of the reach of Bergman. Here's the 2-2 fastball inside. Moved him back off the plate around the belt, and the count is full. 3-2 now. Al Oliver, the on-deck hitter. Richard delivers the 3-2 pitch, and it's high. O'Hara draws the base on balls. Toby Hara takes over at first with 1 out. And here's the left fielder, Al Oliver. Oliver wears number 0 on his uniform. He says that is indicative of his new start over in the American League with a new ball club. Here's the pitch. Fastball, a little high. Ball 1. He also says it stands for Oliver. It's not 0 at all. So take your pick. Richard at the belt checks Hara, the runner at first, and brings the pitch home. It's high again. 2-0 now. Astro infield hoping to get a chance to turn 2 to end the first inning. Hara inches away from the bag at first. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and Oliver grounds it to the second baseman, Gonzalez. He'll have to move to his left and has only 1 play to Bergman at first, where he tosses Oliver out. And on the ground ball to the right side, Hara moves up to second base. Ball not hit all that sharply. Over toward the hole, Gonzalez moved over for it and had only the 1 play, and that was to get Oliver at first. 2 men gone. Runner up at second base is Toby Hara, and Richie Zisk, the designated hitter, stepped in. Hope you're still thinking about Astros season tickets for the 78 season. A lot of advantages to owning Astros season ducats. Here's the pitch to Zisk. It's high and tight. Ball 1. And the Western Division of the National League looks even tougher and even tighter than it was thought to be earlier. Here's the 1-0 pitch. He tried to check, but that pitch was in there. Good fastball from JR. 1-1. JR got it in on the inside part of the plate, between the knees and the belt. JR takes his time looking for the sign. He has it from Ed Herman. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. That's the good slider from Richard right there. This missed that one by plenty. A ball and 2 strikes to count. Two men out, runner at second. JR works to Richie Zisk. Here's the pitch, and he struck him out. Zisk went for a pitch into the dirt and is out on strikes, and the Rangers are finished in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and the man left on base. Ball game is through 1 inning in Little Rock, and the Astros have a 3-0 lead.
I've got grease on my fingers, oil on my shoes. I'm always under the hood, but I wouldn't change places with anyone else, even if I could. I worked on every car, big and small, every kind of engine too. And there's one thing that applies to them all, whether they're old or new. You can't buy better blood for any kind of car than Champion. You can't buy better blood no matter where you are than Champion. Champion's number one in the world, and number one in your car. Some folks don't mind working in a big place, being part of a team. I prefer just me and that engine, nobody in between. You can't buy better blood for any kind of car than Champion. You can't buy better blood no matter where you are than Champion. Champion's number one in the world, they're number one in your car. No, you can't buy better blood for any kind of car than Champion. You can't buy better blood no matter where you are than Champion.
Astros and the Rangers get set to move into the second inning. It's a 3-0 Astro lead. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Houston Astros solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Houston Astros Baseball Club is prohibited. Announcers are employed and paid by the Houston Astros. Here's Ed Herman to lead off the second for the Astros. Roger Metzger will follow, and in the top of the batting order, Terry Poole.
This is WRR, Dallas.
A very good spring at the plate, batting .421. Alexander into the windup, and that soft breaking pitch is in there for a call strike. No homers and 2 RBIs for Herman. Alexander's next one is low. 1-1. Oh, what a day. Alexander uncoils and comes in, and the pitch is foul out of play. Foul off the left side. 1-2. Bob Watson is not in the Astro lineup today. He sustained a bruise behind the right knee in the first inning of last night's ball game and is taking it easy today. The 1-2 pitch is lined out of play, foul again. Injury to Bob is not believed to be too serious. He may not play tomorrow as well. Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch, and Herman pulls this one out to Wills. Slowly hit ball. Wills has plenty of time to note it. That makes an easy toss over to Hargrove, and Herman is retired. One man gone to open the second inning, and Roger Metzger will step in from the left side. Roger had a triple in last night's ball game in 3 official trips. Triple drove home a run. Alexander's pitch. Outside with a fastball, ball 1. Texas Rangers will be trying to overhaul the Kansas City Royals in the Western Division of the American League this year. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a shot back into right center field by Metzger. Benitez on the run, and that's going to be off the wall. Benitez gets a pretty good carom. Metzger digging for 2. Here's the throw, and he's safe at second base. Benitez, the center fielder, got a very good carom off the wall over in right center field and threw a strike back into second base, but Metzger beat the throw in there. And Roger has his first 2-base hit of the spring. So the last couple of days, Metzger has been muscling up at the plate. Well, it'd be nice to see Roger be able to come back, play every day, and hit about 235 or 240. What a help he'd be to this ball club. Well, he can play shortstop for the best of them. There's no question about that. Here's Terry Poole with a chance to do further damage. The pitch from Alexander is high. Ball 1. Sundberg had to reach up for that one. 1-0 the count to Poole. 1 out. Metzger out at second base. Alexander's pitch. Ooh, what a curveball. The swing and a miss. Good breaking pitch by Alexander. No way you're going to hit that pitch. You'd have to have a bat 5 feet wide to hit that one, Bobby. Left-handed hitter waits for Alexander's 1-1, and here it is, a liner foul. Well, he got around on that one and pulled it back down the right side. Out of play over the Ranger bullpen. Back into the equipment area. Now he's behind the right-hander, a ball and 2 strikes. Poole with that slightly closed batting stance. Here's the pitch. And there's a base hit to center field. Line shot to the right of Wills. Metzger around third. Now he's slowed up for a moment. The ball gets away from Sundberg. Metzger scores. Moving up to second base is Poole as the throw stamps back to the base of the stand. Boy, they had Metzger. He was dead at the plate. If they can make that play, because Metzger stopped coming around third. He hesitated a couple of steps and lost his momentum and then started up again. And had Sundberg been able to come up with that throw, Metzger would have been out at the plate. But as it turns out, he scores the fourth Astro run of the game. And Poole gets credit for an RBI. And I guess they move him up to second on the throw home. No error has been presented on the play. Here's Enos Cabell. He takes the pitch high. Alexander went into the stretch and then stepped back off the rubber and looked back towards second to Poole. 1-0 pitch, sails in high. 2-0 the count. Poole has driven home his fifth RBI. Alexander at the belt. 2-0 pitch to Cabell. He goes after a high pitch. Skies it foul. Sundberg chases it, but it's going to be out of play. Back all the way up onto the roof. 2-1 the count. Well, the Astros have scored 4 runs here. 3 in the first, 1 in the second so far. Pickoff play at second, and Poole is safe. Boy, that was close. Bump Wills took the throw out there. But Poole went back in sliding under the tag. Alexander has the sign from Sundberg. 2-1 pitch to Cabell, and a high pop-up down the right side again. Hargrove chases this one down, but he will not have a play. And the count will square off at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Astros scored 3 in the first on an RBI single by Cabell. A wild pitch also helped, as did an errant pickoff play at first base. 2-2 to Cabell, outside and high, so the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cesar Cedeno will be next. Enos waits for Alexander's next delivery. The right-hander at the belt turns towards second, does not throw, and Poole goes back in sliding anyway. Wills again breaking for the bag at second. Here's the 3-2 to Cabell. He jammed him, and Cabell fouls the pitch back into the screen off the right just a little bit. Well, the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. After Herman rolled to second, Metzger doubled, and Poole singled him home, went to second on the play at the plate. Alexander's 3-2 comes home again to Enos Cabell. And there's a base hit line drive. It's going to drop in front of Benitez, pops away from him. Poole around third, he will score. And stopping at first with an RBI single is Enos Cabell. Cabell hit that ball squarely, a liner to center field. Makes it a 5-0 ball game. Second run batted into the afternoon for Enos. And Cesar Cedeno goes to the plate. In the meantime, Toby Harrah trots over from third to talk with the right-hander Alexander. Rangers will choose from among Jim Umbarger, Lynn Barker, and Steve Comer as possible subsequent pitchers, said Doyle Alexander here today. Pitch to Cedeno, ground ball to short. Campaneris to Wills for 1, throw back to first. They get the double play, and that retires the side. Astros out in the second inning, but they scored a couple of runs, and after an inning and a half, it's a 5-0 Astro lead.
Our primary marketing emphasis is on long distance.
Gary Skidmore, Director of Telephone Marketing for Sweet Publishing, explains how long distance helps him reach his business goals.
The largest percentage of our marketing budget goes into our long-distance calling. We are trying to establish new financial basis for our company, and we are relying heavily on long distance to do this. We have probably closed some of our largest sales by use of a conference call, and we've been able to work out some significant things that way. It's a two-way communication as opposed to a letter, more of a direct response, and it's the next best thing to personal selling, and then, of course, being cheaper and all that other advantages that you have with long distance.
Gary Skidmore, Director of Telephone Marketing, Sweet Publishing. He uses long distance to get things done today.
We just count on the stuff to open new markets and to keep our customers buying regularly.
Southwestern Bell.
New salesmen are hard to get, and they're hard to come by, and they're hard to keep. And we've started using long distance as our number one salesman.
Don Grogg, President of Texas Process Equipment Company, tells how important.
Official starting time of the ball game is actually 1:05. That ball game will also be televised to the Astro Network, and you can hook up with that at 1 o'clock. Joe Necro will get the pitching nod for the Astros in that one. Doc Ellis for the Texas Ball Club. And the barnstorming tour will conclude with an afternoon ball game in San Antonio Monday at 1:35, and that ball game will be on radio only. Well, we hope you'll join us the rest of the way until the Astros get set to open the season against the Reds on the 6th of April in Cincinnati. Here at the bottom of the second inning, the Texas Rangers will send Cordell Washington to the plate against J.R. Richards to start things. Washington will be followed by Beniquez and Wills. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Astros. Nothing so far for Texas. Left-handed batter Washington is ready, and here's Richards' pitch. All strikes at the letters on the outside corner, strike one. Washington has pretty good speed, and Cabell, respecting that, plays him a couple of steps just back of the infield grass. Swing and a miss, a fastball, they blew it by. 2 strikes to count. Washington, a good young hitter. The 0-2 pitch is made. It's high and outside. 1-2. The wind is blowing in at about 10 to 15 miles an hour from right field now. 1-2 pitch from J.R. and a ground ball back to the mound. Richard gloves it and flips the ball to Bergman. So Washington is retired. I tell you, with the span J.R. has out there on the mound, it's tough to get anything by him, one way or another. To either side or above him. Long, lanky arms. He's 6'8". And that's one thing over the past year and a half J.R. has done. He's made himself a pretty good fielding pitcher. At one time, he was very poor in that department, but did not make an error in all of last year. Done a good job. You have to give him credit. Here's Juan Beniquez. First pitch is high, ball 1. Beniquez at 238 for the spring. 1 home run and 8 RBIs. Right-handed batter. So 1-0 pitch from J.R. Richards. Swing and a miss. That's the spider. He took a little something off of it that time. 1-1. J.R. brings it in and gets the swing and a foul tip into the mid of Herman. Pitch in on the hitter. Upfelt high. 1-2 now. 1 out. We're in the second. J.R. rocks and delivers. Breaking ball down and away. 2-2 now. And not too many seats available here today. Couple here and there. 2-2. Hop up. That's a foul ball and will be straight back out of play. Count remains 2-2 to Juan Beniquez. We're seeing the Texas everyday lineup. 2-2, swing and a miss. Boy, Benitez just waved at that one half-heartedly. And he strikes out. Second recorded by Richard today, and here's Bump Wills. Wills is hitting .235. Wills batting from the left side. He takes the first pitch for a call strike, a fastball at the knees on the outside part of the plate. A whirlwind gusting to the infield there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball down low. 1-1 now. Spring training winding down to an end. The Florida portion already behind us. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tipper. Now off to the right side. A ball and 2 strikes the count. 2 men out. Base is empty. Richard has the sign from Herman. And delivers on 1 and 2, and he strikes Wills out swinging. Wills will have a very good shot at that one as well. 2 strikeouts for JR in the frame. The Rangers are out of order in the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. 3-2, the Astros lead by a score of 5-0.
Caught you. This thermostat's sitting at 60 degrees.
Hey, I'm dying in here. Do you realize how hot it is?
Well, I'm dying, too, looking at this utility bill, and I've decided to do something about it.
We're going to move up north, right?
Wrong. We're going to get a Fetter's central air conditioning system.
Oh, and we can afford that.
Yeah, because Fetter's air conditioning is better. It has a new rotary compressor for high-efficiency air conditioning. With Fetter's, we can save on cooling bills year after year.
Yeah, year after year, but what about now?
Listen, heard about this today. Now is the best time to buy Fetter's because during April, we'll get a factory rebate on any central air conditioning system. $50 rebate on 2 to 2.5 ton units, $75 on 3 to 3.5 ton units, and $100 on 4 to 5 ton units. Don't worry, we'll be cool this summer with Fetter's.
Okay, if you say so.
Trust me.
University Refrigerators, 709 South Grove Street, Richardson. Hawk Air Conditioning, 128 Fairview in Arlington.
That was the third inning, and Jose Cruz will lead off for the Astros against the Texas Ranger right-hander Doyle Alexander. Cruz walked his first time. First pitch, and he loops it foul back onto the screen. Strike 1. There's the first day of April. The 1-strike pitch is blown away. Means it's April Fool's Day. But a phone call right now to Buddy Hankin at the Astrodome could be a very smart move. Here's the 1-1. It's high and outside. 2 balls and a strike to count. The reason for that call: today's the last day you have to take advantage of season ticket discounts for the 1978 season. Ball 3, high and outside to Cruz, 3-1. And today, Buddy Hankin and his season ticket crew are standing by to take your order. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Foul ball right back into the screen. Full count. You can save up to $25 a seat. Pick your own plan. Get preferred parking. Have infield boxes, club boxes, the box seats, mezzanine, and loge locations are all available. Here's the pitch. Call strike 3 on the outside corner. Cruz caught looking on a pitch around the knee. Second strikeout for Doyle Alexander. 1 out. Here's Dave Bergman. But to get that discount, you're going to have to call today. Today is the final day. Number is 749-9675. 749-9675. First pitch to Dave Bergman, a foul tipper in and out of the mid of Jim Thunberg. Strike 1. Give you that number again for Astro season tickets. You want to get in on the final day of discount. 749-9675. Here's the pitch to Bergman inside. Fastball, 1-1. Well, he'll be glad to talk to you over there. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Here's a lost stride on that one, a ball and 2 strikes. Plenty of good seats still available, although the season tickets have gone this year about as well as ever, I guess. Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. He goes the other way and lines it foul down the left field line up against the fence. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Bergman has hit 2 spring home runs. He has 4 RBIs. First time up in this ball game, he grounded out to the second baseman, Bump Wills. He's behind Alexander on the count with the bases empty and 1 out. And here's the 1-2 from the right-hander. It's right down central, a fastball. Bergman's out, and he knows it. Boy, you couldn't ask for a prettier pitch. Right down the middle, a fastball. 2 outs on called strikes here in the third. 3 strikeouts for Alexander, and now Dennis Walling is the batter. Walling fanned his first time, went down swinging. Here's the pitch on the way. Down and in, ball 1. Walling could be a little bit of a surprise. He could be a good man to have on the bench this spring. He tried to check, but could not. 1-1 the count. First, a lot remains to be seen. Here's a young man who has not played that much in the major leagues. And if I guess you're realistic about it, he's still an unproven quantity, but he has had a very good spring. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ball strike 2. Alexander has found his location now. Alexander, not unlike Mark Lemongello, struggled early in this game. Mark did so last night, finding that control. Pitch is outside, 2-2. And Alexander has to have the good control to be effective. That's his bread and butter. Here's the 2-2 on the way. And a tapper off the right side of the plate rolls down the first base side, and Deacon Jones will make the pickup and foul ground. Count remains 2-2. Alexander is not exactly going to blow you away at the plate, but he knows how to pitch and does so very well. Here's the 2-2 made, and it's high and outside. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cruz and Bergman have been called out on strikes in the Astro third. Here's the 3-2 to Walling. And it just missed inside and low for ball 4. Second walk allowed by Alexander. Walling trots to first. That'll bring up Julio Gonzalez. Gonzalez rolled out to Bump Wills his first time. He's nothing out of 1, batting 176. Toss over to first to keep Walling close. No tag applied by Hargrove. Gonzalez chokes way up on the bat. Here's the pitch outside and low. Ranger outfield shifted way around to the right side for Julio. Plenty of room down that left field line. Oliver is well off the line. Here's the stretch and a toss to first, and Walling is back in time. One-0 pitch is made, and a tapper foul. It'll roll off the right side, and the Ranger manager, Billy Hunter, makes the pickup down on the far end of the Ranger dugout. 3 runs in the first for the Astros, 2 more in the second inning, and the score is 5-0. Alexander at the belt again on 1-1, and the pitch is pulled down the third base side, just foul. That's a good idea by Gonzalez. If he can pull the ball at all down that way, there's a lot of room. That one was foul, and now he's behind Alexander, a ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It's high. Snap throw to first, and Walling is back. Sundberg gunned it down to Hargrove. Out in time, however, 2-2 the count on Gonzalez. Alexander on 2-2 changes speeds, and Gonzalez hammers it to short. Campaneris picks it up and flips the ball to Wills at second to get the fourth on Walling moving down. Gonzalez rolls into the fielder's choice, short to second to fourth Walling, and the Astros are out on the third. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left We move to the bottom half of inning number 3. The Astros 5 and the Rangers nothing.
Make it cool, make it cool, make it yours. Like a mountain morning sunrise coming slowly through the trees. Like an eagle when it spreads its wings across the blue sky breeze. It's all that's big and bold and free. Come taste the great outdoors. It's a part of what you're dreaming. Make it yours. Make it cool. For we taste the morning sunshine. Make it cool. Make it right for you and me. Taste the wide open sky. Taste the Rocky Mountain high. Make it cool. Make it cool. Make it yours. Make it cool. Make it cool. Make it yours.
Ball game moves into the bottom of the third inning. J.R. Richard on the hill for the Astros. Bert Campaneris, Jim Sundberg, and Mike Hargrove will be the top 3 hitters against J.R. in the frame. Joe Ferguson and Bob Watson, we've been notified, will be returning to Houston today. They'll be x-rayed at Methodist Hospital tomorrow as a precautionary measure. Watson, as we told you earlier, sustained a bruise behind the right knee in the first inning of last night's ball game. And Ferguson injured a rib cage when he slid on the backstop chasing a wild pitch in the second inning last night. Those injuries are presumed not to be serious, but just to make sure, they're going to be x-rayed tomorrow in Houston. Ferguson on the rib cage and Watson on that knee. Here's Campaneris. Right-handed batter. He's hitting .269. First pitch to Campy is outside. Oh, call strike. He tried to bunt the ball. I guess he went for it. He was down to drag it. Strike one. Pitch appeared to be a little high and away. The terrain here is interesting if you view it on the field. Here's the next pitch and a ground ball out to second. A couple of hops out to Gonzalez. Julio gloves it and goes back to Bergman to get Campaneris. 4-3. The infield is elevated a little bit. In foul ground, the terrain slopes off, and it does likewise in the outfield. When you get to the rim of the infield, you move into the outfield grass and it slopes down. But right field is higher than left center. It moves. It slopes down from right back into left center and then slopes back up back in the corner in left field down the line. First pitch to Sundberg is a called strike. The left-handed hitters are hitting uphill today. One strike to count, one out, bases empty. Sundberg hammers this one to third where Cabell gloves it off his shoe top. An easy play to Bergman. Sundberg is retired. 2 men out. Before Mike Hargrove steps in, we'll take 10 seconds for station identification. This is where you hear Houston Astros baseball.
This is WRR, Dallas.
Hargrove, a left-handed batter, steps in there. He's nothing out of one. First time up, he had a ground ball out to the second baseman, Gonzalez. Hargrove came in batting .250. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball high and wide. Ball 1. 2 homers, 6 runs batted in for Mike Hargrove. He'll be the leadoff man for Billy Hunter this year. Did a very good job last year after they finally moved him into that role. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's high, 2-0. Hargrove, if you look at him, does not appear to be the ideal leadoff man, but his on-base percentage is impeccable. Richard has the sign from Ed Herman, and here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Fly ball back into left center field. Poole and Walling giving chase, and Walling is going to catch up with it to make the play, and that retires the tie. Good running catch by Dennis Walling. The Rangers are out of order in the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Our ball game is through 3. I'll be leaving it out. Gene will be coming over to join you. After 3, the Astros lead the Rangers by a score of 5-0.
Uh-huh, caught you. This thermostat's sitting at 60 degrees.
Hey, I'm dying in here. Do you realize how hot it is?
Well, I'm dying, too, looking at this utility bill, and I've decided to do something about it.
We're going to move up north, right?
Wrong. We're going to get a Fetter's central air conditioning system.
Oh, and we can afford that.
Yeah, because Fetter's air conditioning is better. It has a new rotary compressor for high-efficiency air conditioning. With Fetter's, we can save on cooling bills year after year.
Yeah, year after year, but what about now?
Listen, heard about this today. Now is the best time to buy Fetter's because during April, we'll get a factory rebate on any central air conditioning system. $50 rebate on 2 to 2.5 ton units, $75 on 3 to 3.5 ton units, and $100 on 4 to 5 ton units. Don't worry, we'll be cool this summer with Fetter's.
Okay, if you say so.
Trust me.
West Heating and Air Conditioning, 1001 East Celeste, Garland, and Acon Service Company, 3025 Forest Avenue, Fort Worth.
Right-hander Doyle Alexander of the Texas Rangers will be facing Ed Herman as we go to the 4th inning here at Little Rock. Roger Metzger, and then the top of the batting order, Terry Poole, will follow. An absolutely beautiful day for baseball today. And we're expecting the same tomorrow at Tulsa. And these two clubs will square off in the 3rd game of the series, San Antonio on Monday afternoon. Ed Herman, left-handed batter, bounced to second his first time. It's a very high popper to right field. Pump Wills, wind carrying it back a little bit, and not too far out into shallow right field, makes the play for the out. Herman on the first pitch is popped to second base, Pump Wills. Here's Roger Metzger. He had a big double in the 2nd inning. It helped the Astros tally their 4th and 5th runs of this ball game. Metzger, a switch hitter, will be batting left against Alexander. Astros 5 and the Texas Rangers nothing. Top half of the 4th inning. Fly ball left field. Al Oliver drifts back for this one and got it. 2 quick outs here by Alexander. Alexander settled down a little bit now. He did give up a base on balls in the 3rd inning. He's been having some trouble getting his breaking stuff over today, but he's been relying mostly on fast stuff here the last couple of innings, and he has managed to put the Astros down. 2 outs and Terry Poole, the hitter. Poole, safe on an error his first time, has scored 2 runs today, both times batted in by his following hitter, Enos Cavell. So 1 for 2 for Terry, following the error in the first, had a base hit in the 2nd. Left-handed hitter, and the first pitch by Alexander is a strike. He got that off-speed pitch in that time. Poole has a run batted in. He drove in Metzger after Rogers' double in the 2nd inning. Fast strike call, 2 quick ones. Alexander now getting into a groove, as Richard failed to do in the 1st inning, but then settled down. 2 outs and nobody on. And the 0-2 pitch by Alexander, and Poole takes the ball outside. Week from Monday night, the Astros open at home. Next Thursday in Cincinnati. He got him swinging. Breaking pitch, struck him out. That was a quick inning for Alexander. He chalked up his 4th strikeout. And the Astros, for the first time this afternoon, are down in order. Rangers will be batting in the bottom half of the 4th inning, with the Astros on top by a score of 5-0.
We love baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, Chevrolet. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, Chevrolet.
Wet your lips, America, because Chevy's serving up a fresh new slice of apple pie. A tasty new mid-sized car called Malibu that's so right for so many people right now, you'd be inclined to believe it was designed by John Q. Public himself. It's got crisp, good look, a nice trim body, and even more headroom, more legroom, and more trunk room than last year's Malibu. It's a car that's going to get you grinning when you point it down the road. Now I ask you, America, isn't that what you had in mind?
New size, quick size, mid-size, Malibu. A fresh new slice of apple pie from Chevrolet.
When it comes to value,
A fresh new slice of apple pie.
America comes to Chevrolet.
From Chevy Malibu.
Juicy.
A fresh new slice of apple pie from Chevrolet. A fresh new slice of apple pie from Chevy Malibu.
J.R. Richard loosens up now with the base on balls. The only thing that he's had problems with today, one. He comes on here in the last half of the 4th inning. He's retired 8 consecutive batters. And Toby Harrah, who threw that walk off him in the 1st inning, will be the lead hitter. He'll be followed by Al Oliver and then Richie Zisk.
J.R. struck out 3 today. So he has struck out 15 batters in the 22 innings that he has pitched this spring and has given up in 22 innings 6 walks. That's good news. Although Richards' control has been good the last couple of years. Toby Harrah, third baseman, right-handed batter. Last of the fourth, Astros 5, Rangers nothing. Richard, a little wild high and not throwing especially hard in the first inning, has really been cutting loose lately. There's the fastball. That one spun Harrah around. Swinging a miss, strike 1. Al Oliver waits to bat next. Over full crowd here in Little Rock for this one today. Couldn't ask for a better day. Little light breeze blowing in from right field, about 75 degrees. That's a little low. Got it over but down. Richard thought he had a strike on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out, nobody on. Fastball missed again in the dirt. Herman had to dig that one out. Ball 2, strike 1. Outfield pretty well back for Harrah around the left side. Here's Richards' pitch to him and a swing at a high one. He got that high hard one in that time. 2-2. And Harrah almost left his feet on that one again. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Toby Harrah. Infield moved a little bit off the left side for the third baseman also. J.R.'s pitch fastball. He laid that one right in there for him, and Harrah got a piece of it. He fouled it back up against the screen. Richard, as he has had on occasion, usually when he does get control problems, he's up, and he had that little bit of a problem early. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul ball again. That's over the roof off the first base side. Harrah, right-handed hitter. Richard all ready to work again now. And the pitch to the third baseman is the ball 3. Up a little bit. Five to nothing. Astros on top in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Here's the 3-2 to Harrah, and he checked on it. They get the appeal. Ball 4. Second walk off Richard. And both times it has been Harrah. So Richard's string of 8 in a row has stopped Harrah to Harrah on 2 walks. Now, Herman did just now ask for the appeal from plate umpire Derwood Merrill and the first base umpire Joe West. Wait a minute, did he call him out? He did. He called him out. They did get the appeal, and that's a strikeout. So scratch the walk. Now the first base coach, Fred Koenig, is arguing with West on that call. There was not an immediate appeal by Herman on that, and then belatedly, evidently, someone from the bench wanted him to do it. So Ed did ask Merrill, and Merrill went down to the first base umpire. And Harrah, who thought he had a walk, and everybody else did, has been struck out. That's the 4th strikeout for J.R. instead of the second base on balls. Here's Al Oliver. One out, nobody on base. Oliver grounded out second his first time. Up 2 high, ball 1. Astros scored 3 in the first and 2 runs in the second. Had some Ranger help in that opening inning with a couple of errors. 3 unearned runs. But they picked up 5 hits. 1-0 to Oliver. Way up again. 2-0. Getting a little action down the line. Kurt Bavacqua is loosening up. So he'll probably take over for Harrah's third. Richard down to Oliver, 2 balls, no strike. Hot ground ball to Gonzalez right. Nice play by Julio. Got it. Oh, yeah. Good play. had to go far to his right on that one. And righted himself quickly and got the strike over to Bergman. And Oliver is out 2 down. And Oliver hit some kind of a hard baseball. Good hitter. There's Richie Zisk, the designated hitter, one of Richard's 4 strikeout victims today. Right-handed batter. 2 outs, nobody on. We're at the bottom of the 4th. And Richard's first pitch to Zisk is strike. Tried to hold a little bit on that one. That's a slider, and it was a good one. And he was not sure whether he wanted to go for it or not, and then he just couldn't check in time. Inside fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind is picking up a little bit. We had just a little light breeze coming in from the fence and right, but it's up around 10 miles an hour, so it will hold some of those balls going out toward right field, but not a strong gale. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch by Richard to Richie Zisk, and it's too low. 2 balls and 1 strike. A couple of ex-Pittsburgh Pirates back-to-back in this game with Oliver Zisk. It'll stop over in Chicago on the White Sox side for Zisk before coming on to Texas this year. Ball 2, strike 1 on the designated hitter for the Rangers, Richie Zisk. And a call strike. Beauty. That's a dandy right above the knees fastball, 2-2. This did not offer that at all. 10 batters in a row put down by JR. 2 balls, 2 strike pitch to Zisk. He got another one, struck him out, and that retires the side. He's very uncertain on that one also. We go to the top half of the 5th inning here in Little Rock. Astros 5, the Texas Rangers nothing. It's time to do a little spring training around your place, like getting the old painting arm limbered up, so you can give the house a new coat of cooked paint when the weather warms up. Or you should at least check your workshop to see how you're fixed for brushes, thinner, all those items you can hardly do without during a summer of do-it-yourself jobs. And the place to get stocked up with the paint and decorating supplies you need is your Cook Paint Decorating Center. Stop by, say hello, and take a look at all the items he has on display. Just about anything you need to brighten and beautify your home. Cook Paint. See him soon. Well, we're moving on to the 5th inning now. JR is up this consecutive string here to 11. Kurt Babakwa has gone in to play third base for the Texas Rangers. Astros in Tulsa tomorrow. Same time our broadcast, 10 minutes until 1 o'clock tomorrow with the 3rd game of the series. And the Astros will tangle with the Rangers for the wrap-up game of this 4-game set on Monday afternoon in San Antonio. Now playing third base for the Texas Rangers is Kurt Babakwa. He has taken over for Toby Harrah. And Doyle Alexander back out on the hill. And that's the only change for the Rangers. Enos Cabell, Cesar Cedeno, and Jose Cruz as we start the 5th inning, and the Astros lead at 5-0. Cabell has had 2 hits today. Pop-up down the right side. It is foul, and a long run by Hargrove, and he got it. Oh, he twisted his ankle just a little bit. I hope he didn't hurt himself. You saw just as he went down, twisted that ankle a little bit, but he's all right. That's what caused him to fall. Good play by Mike Hargrove. At first, he had a long way to go for that when the ball was not popped overly high, and he had to run quite a ways for it, over near the stand. First time that Cabell has been retired today, after singling twice and driving in a couple of runs. Cesar Cedeno, the batter. Double and a double play ball off the bat of Cedeno today. Cesar, right-handed hitter, off of right-handed Doyle Alexander. Off-speed pitch is too low, ball 1. One out and nobody on. Jose Cruz will be the next hitter. Fastball, long, foul ball to right field. No chance for a play on that one. Down beyond the Texas Ranger bullpen. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Cedeno. Top of the 5th. 5-0 Astros. Alexander, as I mentioned, started to go with pretty much the fast stuff. He didn't have any trouble controlling that. Now he's getting back to some of the breaking pitches, and he's managing to get them in. Fastball wide, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cedeno. 1 out on Cabell's pop foul to Hargrove. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch by Alexander is in the dirt. Full count, 3-2. Walks and 4 strikeouts for Alexander. Pitch to Cedeno, fly ball, deep center field, and Benitez has room. Now he comes back in. The wind held that one up a little bit. I might have been up off the fence, although probably not. Benitez still had quite a bit of room, but he did go back and then come in on it, which indicated that the wind blew it back in a bit. Almost dead center field, 2 down. Cedeno out, and Jose Cruz is the batter. Cruz has walked and struck out, and there's 2 trips today. Left-handed batter, and Alexander's first pitch is a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Alexander, after being roughed up in the first 2 innings, along with some fielding lapses for the Rangers, has settled down now through the last 3 innings, and in the last 3 innings has given up just a base on ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jose Cruz. Here's the 1-1 by Alexander. Foul ball, that's in the screen. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander ready again on the pitch to Cruz. Ball flash to right. That'll be off the wall. Back goes the right fielder. Washington can't get that one. And Cruz goes into second base. Washington makes the pickup, and Jose is on with a stand-up double. No doubt about that one. That up about 15, 20 feet off the barrier in right center field. And Cruz gets his 3rd double of the spring. He's 1 for 2 today with a walk. The other time he struck out, and that's the 6th hit off Alexander. And the batter now is Dave Bergman. Bergman is grounded out and struck out. Jose Cruz, not a big lead off second base. Shortstop Bert Campanera shaded in behind him with Bergman, a lefty hitter, up. First pitch to Bergman. A little bit high, ball 1. First hit for the Astros, with 2 out here in the 5th. The first hit for the Astros since Cabell singled in the 2nd inning and drove in the Astros' 5th run. A little bit up again. Same spot, off speed, 2 balls and no strikes on Bergman. Broadcast time tomorrow will be 10 minutes to 1 from Tulsa. Rangers again. Joe Negro will go on that one against Doc Ellis tomorrow afternoon. There's the off speed again, and now he's missing on that again. That's 3-0, too high. Ball 3, no strikes. Cruz on second base and 2 down. Bergman goes for the 3-0 and hits the fly ball to left field to Al Oliver, who is there and got it to retire the side as Cruz is stranded on second base. So on the top of the 5th, Astros still lead the Rangers 5-0.
In tomorrow's Houston Chronicle, be sure to check the full-page color ad located in the comics section. It'll give you a pretty good idea of the fun and excitement in store for you in the 1978 Astrodome season. It lists most of the weekend promotional activities, giving dates for ball night, bat night, jacket night, coming up on April 29th, photo album night, T-shirt night, and helmet night. And some new...
Caught you. This thermostat's sitting at 60 degrees.
Hey, I'm dying in here. Do you realize how hot it is?
Well, I'm dying, too, looking at this utility bill, and I've decided to do something about it.
We're going to move up north, right?
Wrong. We're going to get a Fetter's central air conditioning system.
Oh, and we can afford that.
Yeah, because Fetter's air conditioning is better. It has a new rotary compressor for high-efficiency air conditioning. With Fetter's, we can save on cooling bills year after year.
Yeah, year after year, but what about now?
Listen, heard about this today. Now is the best time to buy Fetter's because during April, we'll get a factory rebate on any central air conditioning system. $50 rebate on 2 to 2.5 ton units, $75 on 3 to 3.5 ton units, and $100 on 4 to 5 ton units. Don't worry, we'll be cool this summer with Fetters.
Okay, if you say so.
Trust me.
Alps Heating and Air Conditioning, 209 Rayburn Garland, and Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning, 323 North Beach Street, Fort Worth.
Buddy Hankin at the Astrodome could be a real smart move for you. Today is the last day you have to take advantage of season ticket discounts for the 1978 baseball season. Buddy Hankin and his season ticket crew are standing by right now to take your order. You can save up to $25 per seat. Pick your own plan, get preferred parking, infield boxes, club box seats, mezzanine, and Lowe's locations are available. But call today, 713. Call right now if you get a chance. 749-9675. Area code 713-749-9675. Claudel Washington hit the ground ball to shortstop to Roger Metzger to open the inning, and Don DeBergen is one down. Keep in mind now, your last day to take advantage of discounts. 749-9675. $25 a seat. A lot of do, re. One out. Here's Juan Beniquez. 12 batters in a row retired by Richard. Beniquez struck out his first time. One out and nobody on base. Ball outside. 1-0. Beniquez's right-handed swing will be followed here by Bump Wills. Foul ball. That's out of play off the right side. Richards pitched 23 innings this spring now, counting today's ball game, and he has given up 19 hits. He is not allowed to hit today, and has just allowed that one base runner. First inning walk. Got one good play behind him by second baseman Julio Gonzalez. As a swing and a miss. Foul tip, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom half of inning 5. Astros got 3 in the first and 2 runs in the second inning. Well, 3 in the first runner. Here's the 1-2 pitch by James Rodney. Fastball, fly ball, left center field. Dennis Walling. Boy, there's a lot of room out in that area. Walling makes the play on that one, and they're 2 down. As Richard's string goes up to 13 consecutive batters. And Bump Wills, who struck out his first time as the hitter. Switch hitter batting left-handed. 2 outs, nobody on base. Washington is chopped shortstop, and Beniquez has flied to left field. Rodney's first pitch is very high, and that's right back over Herman's head. Way up in the air. Jim Umbarger, southpaw, starting to stretch his pitching arm out now. He's getting ready to loosen up a little bit down the right field line for the Rangers. 1 ball and no strikes on Bump Wills. There's a shot. There's the first hit of the ball game in the right field for the Texas Rangers. Bump Wills. It's the gap out in front of Jose Cruz. Richard retired 13 consecutive batters from a walk with 1 out in the first inning to Toby Hara to Bump Wills' base hit to right. There's Bert Campaneris. There'll be no today. Campaneris bounced to second base to Gonzalez his first time. Pretty good lead by Wills off first base. Richard will hold him close with a quick flip over to Dave Bergman at first base. Hits are 6 Houston and 1 Rangers here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 low, ball 1. Ed Herman digs that one out of the dirt. 1 ball and no strike. Richard has gone 6 innings twice this year. This is his 5th outing. He's turning up for opening day at Cincinnati. Go to first again. There's a little toss over there. Little token lob to first. Token lob, token toss. 1 ball, no strike. Bert Campaneris, shortstop. Check at first by James Rodney. And the pitch. A little bit low outside. 2-0. Both of those pitches down on Campaneris. On deck hitter, should Campaneris reach here, is catcher Jim Sundberg. Bump Wills on first with a base hit and 2 outs.
Here's the 2-0 pitch, and Campaneris takes the ball. Herman flips to first to Bergman, but Wills is back in. And now Campaneris is up on JR 3-0. Three balls and no strikes. Campaneris takes the strike on the outside corner of the letters. Looking all the way on that one. Three and one. Here's the next pitch now, and a swing and a foul. Son of a check on that one. A high fastball that Campaneris actually changed his mind on, but he couldn't check on it. The ball hit his bat. So Richard comes back from a 3-0, and he has a full count. So Wills will be taking off on this pitch. And Sundberg waits to bat next. Astros lead it by a count of 5-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. Dagoberto Campaneris. Dagoberto Blanco Campaneris. 3-2 look at first base by JR. Wills is on his way to second base. He struck him out to retire the side. Foul tip. 6 strikeouts for J.R. Richards. And that retires the side. And we go on to inning number 6. The Astros still on top of the Rangers, 5-0.
If you drive along the highway or make tracks across the snow, even biking across the country, Champion is the way to go. If you soar across the skyway or go cruising out to sea, if you're into racing go-kart, Champion is the plug you need. You can't buy a better plug, can't rely on a better plug. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all.
When the time comes for you to get your boat ship shape from stem to stern, remember new spark plugs. A tune-up with Champion spark plugs can give you quicker starts, smoother performance, and more hours per gallon. So before you ship out, tune up with Champion, the world's #1 selling spark plug. Remember, you can't buy a better plug than Champion.
You can't buy a better plug, can't rely on a better plug. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all.
First half of the 6th inning in Little Rock, and Dennis Walling will lead it off for the Astros. Julio Gonzalez and Ed Herman off of Doyle Alexander, the starting right-hander for the Texas Rangers, who spins into inning number 6. 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a wild pitch. Walling, a left-handed batter. First pitch to him is a good strike. Took one looking right around the knees. Strike 1. Walling is struck out and walked. He'll be followed by Gonzalez. Kurt Bavak with third and about a step there. Miss outside around. Oh, call strike. Excuse me. Little premature call. Strike 2. Caught the outside corner at the knees. Humbarger starting to loosen up a little bit more. Now he's trying to throw hard down the right side. Alexander, as I mentioned, in his 6th inning. We'll start getting some changes now for both clubs. Ball low inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Get Mike Jorgensen and Jim Mason are starting to loosen up for the Rangers down the right field line. Here's Alexander's pitch and a tap right side chopper. First baseman Hargrove will handle, and the pitcher Alexander over and got him. Alexander, a little bit of a ballet on that one. He had to touch up a couple times with that toe to make sure he got the bag to beat Walling in, and there's 1 down. First baseman Mike Hargrove and pitcher Doyle Alexander on a chopper to the right side, and Gonzalez is the batter. Gonzalez has not had a hit. He has had the defensive play of the day, however. Strike called. Outside corner fastball around the knees on Gonzalez. Early up on that bat handle. Not quite as much as usual, though. He's only up a couple inches right now on Alexander. Little pop-up left side of the infield. This is Campaneris' ball, shortstop. He's on the skin part of the infield, and 2 away. Alexander, since the 2nd inning, has pitched well. Walking 1 and giving up the double by Cruz off the barrier in right field. That's it. Here's Ed Herman. He's popped out and grounded out both times to bump Wills to second base. Ball low. 1 ball, no strike. Astros batting in the 6th. Ground ball right side directly to Wills. And Wills to Hargrove. That got a quick out. Quick inning. And that retires the side for the Astros. Bottom of the sixth coming up. Houston 5, Texas nothing. The 1978 Astros Buddies Club will have its first free game on April the 30th with the Astros meeting Montreal.
Caught you. This thermostat's sitting at 60 degrees.
Hey, I'm dying in here. Do you realize how hot it is?
Well, I'm dying, too, looking at this utility bill, and I've decided to do something about it.
We're going to move up north.
This is WRR, Dallas.
Last half of the sixth inning. Astros lead at 5-0. J.R. Richard will be throwing to Jim Sundberg to get the inning underway. Sundberg batting in the number 9 spot. And then it'll be Hargrove and Bavacqua. Sundberg has been up once. He bounced out third. J.R. Richard has given up only one hit through 5 and walked 1. 6 strikeouts today for the big right-hander. We'll have some wholesale changes in the next inning for the Rangers. Ball high, ball on. Nobody on, bottom of the sixth. Ground ball foul, chopper handled by Connie Ryan, the third base coach. That man's from Houston. Bobby, he's been all over with the Astros. Got that ball, he fell out of the stands. Got it? I talked to him before the game. He knows it's on television. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball high. 2-1. That cap he's wearing is an Astro cap. It doesn't have any bill on it. He said that was the one that he originally got when they made the trip to San Francisco. I don't know what happened to that bill, though. I guess he got so many bills in San Francisco that he lost that one, too. So Bell dribbles it for a moment and goes to first. Ball hit directly to Enos. A little bit of a juggle. He had to pick it up off the ground, but he got Sundberg at first base, and there's 1 down. Here's Mike Hargrove. Sundberg will be all through for the day now. He'll do his running, and we'll have another catcher to open the 7th. One out, nobody on base. J.R. will go 7 today at least, as no one is warming up for the Astros. Hargrove is 0 for 2, ground ball, fly ball. 2 high ball, 1. One of the few off-speed pitches that Richard has thrown today. 1 out and nobody on. Kurt Bavacqua will hit next. James Rodney Richards. Hargrove, base hit down the middle. That's the second hit off Richards. Hargrove dumped 1 into right center field. Here's Bavacqua coming out. This will be Bavacqua's first trip to the plate. Took over for Toby Hara. Hara walked and struck out on his 2 times at bat. Astros are leading at 5-0. We have seen the last of Alexander today also. Jim Umbarger has just come into the dugout, so he'll go out and pitch the 7th for the Rangers. Runner first is Mike Hargrove. The batter, Kurt Bavacqua. Hitting .262. This is a little bit high outside, ball 1. We now will have a runner at first. Hargrove is coming out, and Mike Jorgensen will run for him. One ball and no strikes on Bavacqua. JR checks Jorgens at first base. The pitch is low, and it's 2-0. They're not holding Jorgensen on. First baseman Dave Bergman back off the base. Astros have a 5-run boat here. 2 balls and no strikes in Bavacqua. Fastball is a strike called at the letters. 2-1. Sundberg bounced to third, and Hargrove is singled. Two ball, 1 strike count in Bavacqua. JR's pitch is a fly ball to center. Poole's got a lot of room, maneuvers under it, plays the wind a little bit back in, got it, and Jorgensen back to first base, 2 down. Fly to center by Bavacqua. And the left fielder for the Rangers, Al Oliver, is the hitter. Oliver has not had a hit, although he had a tremendously high ground ball to the right of Julio Gonzalez back in the 4th inning, and that was, as I mentioned earlier, the defensive play of this ball game, with Gonzalez throwing him out. Oliver bats left. 2 outs, runner first base. Astros lead the Rangers in the bottom of the 6th inning, 5-0. Oliver swings and misses, strike 1. Bergman playing a very deep first base. James Rodney Richards pitch, ground ball to Metzger, who is shaded over by the bag at second, touches the bag to get Jorgensen coming down unassisted off Oliver's ground ball to retire the side. We finished 6th here in Little Rock, and the Astros are leading it 5-0.
Opening day in the Astrodome will be on Monday, April 10th. It's the Astros meeting the National League champion Los Angeles Dodgers in a 7:35 contest. That's a game you want to plan to see and get there early. We'll have the Electronic Eagles as part of the pregame activity, and they'll be featuring a dogfight between Snoopy and the Red Baron, as well as many other aerial surprises. We'll also have high school bands in attendance from LaPorte High School, from Harlingdale High in San Antonio, and from Fort Nature's Groves High School. The thrills and excitement of the 1978 championship season opener with the Astros meeting the Los Angeles Dodgers. Pregame entertainment and surprises. Over-the-counter sales of tickets are going on right now at the Advanced Ticket Office, Merlin and Kirby, and of course at all Astros tele-ticket outlets. The opening series of the Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers beginning April 10th in the Astrodome. Better pick up those seats early. Astros and Rangers continue this ball game here in Little Rock. The Astros on top by a score of 5-0. We go into the 7th inning. Rangers have a new pitcher. The left-hander Jim Umbarger takes over. Doyle Alexander worked the first 6 innings against the Astros. 6 innings of work. He allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. 2 earned runs against Alexander. That is to Umbarger. Rangers also have some other changes. John Ellis takes over behind the plate. I think that's Sandy Alomar at second base now. Jim Mason at shortstop, along with Jorgensen at first. Roger Metzger leads off, batting from the right side, and hammers the ball to third, where Bavacqua loves it, goes across to Jorgensen. To retire Roger gives him 1 out of 3 on the day. Brings up Terry Poole with the bases empty and 1 out here in the 7th inning. Poole is 1 out of 3 and pops this one up on the left side at the foul ball. Ellis and Bavacqua after it, and Ellis drops the ball. Right there's a good case. And where the third baseman should have made that play. Ellis, the catcher, running away from his position up the third base line. Bavacqua was coming in. Both were there. And Ellis attempted to make the catch from Bavacqua at a better perspective as he should have made the grab. So Poole gets another chance. The pitch from Umbarger is high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Here's the pitch. Poole pops it up again, this time on the right side. Here comes Jorgensen in from first, almost in front of the plate. Makes the basket catch for the out. Bobby Thompson has also gone into the ball game to play center field for Texas. And Dave May is the new left fielder. Claudell Washington remains in right. 2 men out, base is empty, and here's Enos Cabell. First pitch from Umbarger is high and outside, ball 1. Umbarger went to the Texas camp this spring having to make this ball club. They reacquired him last year, and here's the next pitch, foul ball back into the screen. Enos had a pretty good pitch to hit right there, and wishes he had it back. 1-1 the count. When Umbarger came back to Texas, he had what they referred to as a dead arm. Next pitch is down and in. 2 balls and a strike. They say it's come back now, and I think he has a chance to be a pretty good pitcher again. There's the next pitch, foul back over toward the Astro dugout. Youngster makes the pickup with his glove reaching down. 2-2 the count. The left-hander Umbarger delivers the next one, and Cabell chops it to the right side for Jorgensen. He gloves it and races Enos into the bag and wins. And the Astros are out of order in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Astros lead the Rangers 5-0.
A fresh new slice of apple pie from your Goodman Chevrolet. A garden is America the way it is today. A trim car on the outside, a car where you sit. This is the American Malibu is it.
As is our way, America. We took a good hard look at where you were heading, then sat down and invented an ideal car to get you there. Chevy's new Malibu is that car. A fresh new slice of apple pie from your good friend Chevrolet. And I'm stretching the point only slightly when I tell you, it looks good enough to eat. Malibu's a new size, quick size, mid-size car that's a real kick to drive. It's a crisp, fat-free car designed for today. Yet when you climb inside, you find even more headroom, legroom, and trunk room than in last year's Malibu. When it comes to value, America comes to Chevrolet. And I think you're going to find in the days and years ahead, a large slice of America is going to be coming to the new Malibu.
J.R. Richard goes back to the mound to work the 7th inning for the Texas Rangers. J.R. has worked 6 already, allowing 2 hits and no runs, striking out 6 and walking 1 along the way. This now equals the longest stint J.R. has worked this spring. Meantime, Kenny Force begins to loosen for the Astros in the bullpen. Jimmy Sexton has entered the ballgame for the Astros at shortstop, taking over for Roger Metzger. And that's the only defensive change. The infield the same, Cabell at third, Sexton short, Gonzalez second, and Bergman at first. In the outfield, Walling remains in left with Poole in center and Cruz in right. Herman still doing the catching, J.R. Richard on the mound. He'll be facing Richie Zisk to open the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Zisk to be followed by Claudell Washington and the center fielder, Bobby Thompson. Here's the windup by J.R. and the pitch. Zisk takes it low and outside. Breaking ball into the dirt, ball 1. Great day it's been. Zisk has struck out swinging both times he's been up. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Foul ball back into the screen. It'll roll all the way up onto the roof. 1-1 the count. J.R. has been impressive today. There's a chopper out to Gonzalez. An easy play for Julio, who gloves it, goes back to Bergman. Zisk is retired, second to first for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning. Brings up Claudell Washington. Doyle Alexander, the first 6 innings for Texas. Umbarger brought on in the seventh, retired the Astros in order. And it's been J.R. Richard all the way for the Astros so far. Here's the pitch to the left-handed hitting Washington, and he checked in time. A little high, ball one. Next pitch on the way. Foul ball, look out! He got Bill Verdon sitting in front of the Astro bench. Verdon had his glove on and got that up to protect himself. Well, Bill will tell us he still has the reflexes when we see him after the game. Next pitch to Washington. Chopper to the right side again. Slow roller for Gonzalez. He gloves it, goes to Bergman. Washington becomes the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Bobby Thompson. He'll be batting for the first time in the ball game. Took over in center field for Juan Boniquez. Thompson had a pretty good spring. Not too bad. 14 out of 41, batting .341. Homer and 9 RBIs, which has made some kind of a bid. He's also stolen 7 bases this spring. Oh! Richards first pitch to Thompson over Herman's head and goes all the way back to the screen. For what? Well, if that doesn't give a raw rookie something to think about, I don't know what does. Imposing figures such as J.R. displays out there. 6'8", 237, throws as hard as anybody around here. The check swing foul ball into the seats about 4 rows deep off the left side. 1-1. Thompson really displayed a defensive swing on that one. He was trying to get out of the way more than anything, I think. 1-1 the count. 2 men out. Bases are empty. Richard winds and delivers. Thompson started to go. The pitch was in there. Now he's behind. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, that first pitch J.R. threw may have given him something to think about. He has not looked very aggressive at the plate on the 2 subsequent pitches. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He didn't miss by much. J.R. wanted that one. Fastball on the inside part of the plate, and J.R. thought he might have nipped the strike zone, but the plate umpire disagreed. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Here's Richards' next pitch. Ground ball to first. Big hop to Bergman. The underhanded toss to Richards, streaking across over from the mound, and that retires the side. Thompson out on a ground ball to first with McPitcher Richards covering. 3 up and 3 down for the Rangers in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Through 7, the Astros have a 5-0 lead.
Caught you. This thermostat's sitting at 60 degrees.
Hey, I'm dying in here. Do you realize how hot it is?
Well, I'm dying, too, looking at this utility bill. And I've decided to do something about it.
We're going to move up north, right?
Wrong. We're going to get a Fetter's central air conditioning system.
Oh, and we can afford that.
Yeah, because Fetter's air conditioning is better. It has a new rotary compressor for high-efficiency air conditioning. With Fetter's, we can save on cooling bills year after year.
Yeah, year after year, but what about now?
Listen, heard about this today. Now is the best time to buy Fetter's because during April, we'll get a factory rebate on any central air conditioning system. $50 rebate on 2 to 2.5 ton units, $75 on 3 to 3.5 ton units, and $100 on 4 to 5 ton units. Don't worry, we'll be cool this summer with Fetter's.
Okay, if you say so.
Trust me.
University Refrigerators, 709 South Grove Street, Richardson. Hawk Air Conditioning, 128 Fairview in Arlington.
Through 7 innings, Jim Umbarger back to the mound to open his second inning of work in relief of Doyle Alexander. Astros jumped on Alexander in the first 2 innings for 5 runs. Not much doing after that, however. And Umbarger retired the side in order in the 7th inning. He'll be facing Cesar Cedeno to open the 8th. It'll be Cedeno, Cruz, and Bergman.
Here's Cedeno with a 2-base hit and 3 trips. He doubled in the first and scored. He's also grounded into a double play and flied out to center. First pitch is up high from Umbarger, ball 1. Umbarger's 25 years old. He's 6 feet 6 inches tall, 200 pounds. Next pitch is in there for a call strike, 1-1. Lives in Tempe, Arizona, out of Arizona State. Two and 6 last year in the American League with a 632 earned run average. Off-speed pitch is inside a little bit. And Cedeno out in front. But Cesar laid off. And it's now a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Umbarger comes in and a line to left field. It's in there for a base hit down the line. Davey May over to pick it up, and Cedeno will stop at first with a base hit. Cesar picks up his second hit. Good to see him swinging the bat going into the season. Umbarger spent 75 and 76 in Texas, putting together records of 8 and 7 and 10 and 12 back-to-back. And then ran into that arm problem. They traded him to Oakland. Oakland traded him back. Here's Jose Cruz. First pitch is bounced foul down the right side, up over the fence into the stands. Strike 1. Cruz has walked. He's been called out on strikes and doubles today. Here's Umbarger's pitch, and it's in there. Jose laid off. Check, but the pitch was in there. 2 strikes to count. J.R. Richard is heading down the left field line to get his run again, and the fans realizing that they have seen the last of J.R. today give him a fine hand. Umbarger tosses the ball to first. J.R. pitched very well today, working 7 innings. And Kenny Forsch will be the new Astro pitcher. Boy, Cedeno gets a giant lead off Umbarger at first. Umbarger delivers to Cruz, and the pitch is high and outside. A ball and 2 strikes to count. There's a ground ball, and it's going to get through up the middle of the center, a base hit. Cedeno goes to second and stops there. Thompson gets the ball back in toward the shortstop. Cruz threw his bat at the ball. His bat wound up almost all the way out of the mound as he made contact and rolled the ball through the middle of the infield for his second hit of the afternoon. And for the Astros, hit number 8. First 2 men are on here in the 8th inning. Runners at first and second, nobody out, and Dave Bergman, the batter. Bergman's 0 for 3. Grounded out, struck out, and flied out. Umbarger at the belt checks the runners. Here's the pitch. Bergman's going to bump the ball. Does so down the third base side. Ellis makes the pickup, goes to first, goes high, and pulls Ferguson off the bag. Everybody's safe. Ellis thought about going to third and then decided better the idea. And then went back over to first base. His throw was high. And it pulled Jorgensen off the bag. So everybody is safe. Cedeno slid into third hard and might have jammed up that knee a little bit. Pacheco is taking a look at him at first base or at third base, and now Willie Howard is going to come in to pinch run for him. So Cesar is going to be lifted here. And Willie Howard will take over at third base as a pinch runner. Bases are loaded. And Dennis Walling, the hitter. Walling goes after the first pitch and hits it to center field. Thompson started in on the ball. Now has to break back. He's there. Makes the catch. Howard tags. He will score. Here's the throw to third, and Cruz is safe. Thompson made a pretty good throw to third. Bavacqua, much stronger than I think anybody anticipated, and Cruz just did get in there. Bergman, in the meantime, tagged up and went up to second base. Astros have scored their 6th run of the ball game and lead 6-0.
And that brings up Julio Gonzalez. So Walling gets a sacrifice fly on a shot to center field, and now they're going to walk Julio Gonzalez intentionally. Gonzalez being passed intentionally. There's ball two. This will load the bases again. And Ed Herman will be the hitter, a left-hander, against the southpaw Umbarger. Gonzalez trots to first, and before Herman steps in, we'll take 10 seconds for station identification. This is where you hear Houston Astros baseball.
This is WRR, Dallas.
Ed Herman steps in there with the bases loaded, facing the left-hander Jim Umbarger. One run is home. Couple of singles, an error by the catcher Ellis on a sacrifice attempt, and a sacrifice fly. The Astros have scored. There's a ground ball through to the right side of the infield for Herman. Cruz scores. Here comes Bergman around third. He's going to score. The throw back towards second. Now they have Herman. And Ed is tagged out at second base as Gonzalez moves into third. They didn't even get Herman in a rundown. The shortstop, Jimmy Mason, was around the bag at second. He had to come over toward the first base side to get the throw, and he tagged Herman as Ed was trying to move up to second. But 2 runs have scored. Gonzalez winds up at third. It will be an RBI single driving home 2 runs for Herman, and he's out trying to move up to second. It brings up Jimmy Sexton, who will be hitting for the first time. Pitch to Sexton is inside, ball 1. Next pitch to Sexton is high and outside, 2-0. So 3 runs have scored in the inning, and the Astro lead is now 8-0. Herman came up with an RBI single. Sexton pops it up on 2-0. It's a foul ball. Ellis is chasing it, but it's going to be out of play back into the seats behind the Astro dugout. 2 balls and a strike to count. Base hit by Cedeno, single by Cruz, and a sacrifice by Bergman, on which Ellis, the catcher, threw high to first base, allowing Bergman to reach. Then the sacrifice fly to center scored 1. Gonzalez then walked, and the base hit by Herman scored 2 more. Ground ball to short. Mason loves it and goes across to Jorgensen. Sexton is out 6-3, and the Astros are retired in the 8th, but not before they score 3 more runs on 3 hits. 1 more Texas error, and the Astros leave a man. So the ball game heads into the bottom of the 8th with the score of the Astros 8 and the Rangers nothing.
Got a bale and haul some hay.
Gotta share a ride today.
Gotta drop the children off.
The first I gotta stop that job. People all kinds of people, more than a million a day. Keep their lives moving on by making us stop along the way. The stuff that keeps America going.
Every day, over 1 million people stop at Gulf. Our new self-serve stations are a good reason. No waiting at the pump, simple to use, and best of all, a way for you to save on every gallon. Dependable products are another reason people stop at Gulf. Gasolines and motor oils of consistent high quality, formulated by Gulf for top efficiency to help your engine last. Got somewhere to go? Remember, conserving gasoline is important, so use it wisely, and when it's time, stop at Gulf.
Kenny Forrest, the new pitcher for the Astros. Kenny is making his 7th appearance of the spring. He has 1 decision, a loss, and an earned run mark of 409. In 11 1/3 innings, he's allowed 15 hits and 8 runs, 5 earned. He struck out 5 and walked 3, and has given up a home run. J.R. Richard pitched very well today. 7 innings for J.R. 2 hits, no runs. He struck out 6 and walked 1. And Kenny Forrest takes over for Richard. Sandy Alomar, the first man to face Forrest. And this is Alomar's first trip to the plate since taking over back in the 7th inning at second for Bump Will. He chops the first pitch off the plate foul, back off the left side, strike 1.
Jim Mason will be next, the shortstop. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Astros up by 8. Next pitch, fastball from Kenny high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Little infielder Sandy Alomar punches one back into left center field. It'll be in there for a base hit. Walling over to cut it off. Alomar makes the big turn at first and holds there. So Alomar comes on to greet Kenny Forge for the base hit. The 3rd hit of the afternoon for the Texas Rangers. Here's Jim Mason now. Kenny last pitched day before yesterday in the inter-squad game at Cocoa before the ball club left for this barnstorming tour. Worked 3 innings, allowed a couple of runs and 4 hits in that outing. Mason goes after the first pitch and fouls it back into the screen. Strike 1. Mason batting from the left side. A runner at first base is Alomar, nobody out. Here's the next pitch. It's right in there. 2 strikes to count. Kenny's last outing, other than the inter-squad game, was Monday in Orlando. He pitched an inning against the Twins, allowed a hit, struck out a man, no run. Mason hits a high fly ball back into right center field, not too deep, but Jose Cruz has all kinds of room, and he goes over and makes the catch. Cruz made the grab in right center field for the first out, and here's John Ellis, the catcher, batting for the first time. Alomar, the runner at first. Ellis, a right-handed hitter. He's strong. Swings and misses. Had a pretty good cut at that one. Strike 1. Steve Comer is throwing in the bullpen for Texas down the right field side. Porsche at the belt, checks the runner, and brings the pitch home. It's outside. 1-1 the count. Porsche on 1-1. Gets a swing and a miss from Ellis. Now he's ahead of the hitter. A ball and 2 strikes. Don't forget, this is the final day to get those discounts on the season tickets for the 1978 season. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Look out, a little high and tight. 2-2 the count. Buddy Hankin and the crew waiting there, ready to assist you in selecting your season tickets. You can save up to $25 a seat. Pick your own plan. A lot of seats to choose from. A lot of different levels. Swing and a miss. He got Ellis. I think he threw him the forkball that time. He had Ellis chopping down and away at that pitch. 7th strikeout for Astro pitching, the first recorded by Porsche. Out number 2 in the 8th, and here's the leadoff man, Mike Jorgensen, batting for the first time. Porsche stretches, swing and a miss. That pitch was up and away from the left-handed hitter and then broke in on him. And Jorgensen was chopping in that one. Strike 1. There's a shot right back through the middle. Boy, I thought it was going to get forced for a moment. Solid base hit to center. Stopping at second is Sandy Alomar. Jorgensen has himself a base hit, second hit of the inning, and hit number 4 in the ball game for Texas. We'll bring up Kurt Bavacqua. Oscar Zamora is throwing for the Astros in the bullpen. Runners at first and second, 2 men gone. Bavacqua, right-handed batter, goes after the pitch and pops it up foul. Herman and Bergman chase it off the right side, but it's going to be well out of play. Strike 1. Bavacqua's 0 for 1. He flied out to center field his only trip to the plate. He replaced Toby Hara at third base when Hara was ejected earlier. Got up on that forkball, and the pitch was high. 1-1 the count. Astro runs have come in clusters for this afternoon. 1-1 pitch. He missed again.
Here comes Mel Wright out of the Astro dugout calling for time. He'll talk to Kenny Force. Herman will join the activity on the mound as well. Regarding those season tickets, and this being the final day to get the discount on those, give you a telephone number here. You might give them a call, 749-9675. Call Buddy Henkin and the crew, 749-9675 for Astro season tickets for the 1978 championship campaign. Infield boxes, club boxes, along with box seats, mezzanine, and loge locations are all still available. And today, you can get them at the discounted rate. Here's the stretch. 2-1 pitch, and it's in there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ball strike to Bavacqua. Alomar, the runner at second base. Jorgensen on at first. Next pitch, ground ball through the right side of the infield. It's a base hit for Bavacqua. Cruz makes the pickup, and his throw will be back into second as Alomar comes across to score. Cruz pumped towards the plate, but decided better the idea. Bavacqua has himself a run batted in with that base hit. 3 hits off Force here in the inning. And Davy May will come out to bat. This is also May's first trip to the plate. 2 on, 2 out, a run home. Left-handed batter May waits for the first one from Force, and it's a call strike at the letters. Strike 1. It's now an 8-1 ball game. Astros on top. Here's the pitch. Now ball back to the mound. Force grabs it, flips the ball to Bergman, and the Rangers are out of the inning. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left for the Texas club in the 8th. We're through 8, going to the 9th. The Astros have an 8-1 lead.
Caught you. This thermostat's sitting at 60 degrees.
Hey, I'm dying in here. Do you realize how hot it is?
Well, I'm dying, too, looking at this utility bill, and I've decided to do something about it.
We're going to move up north, right?
Wrong. We're going to get a Fetter's central air conditioning system.
Oh, we can afford that.
Yeah, because Fetter's air conditioning is better. It has a new rotary compressor for high-efficiency air conditioning. With Fetter's, we can save on cooling bills year after year.
Yeah, year after year, but what about now?
Listen, heard about this today. Now is the best time to buy Fetter's because during April, we'll get a factory rebate on any central air conditioning system. $50 rebate on 2 to 2.5 ton units, $75 on 3 to 3.5 ton units, and $100 on 4 to 5 ton units. Don't worry, we'll be cool this summer with Fetter's.
Okay, if you say so.
Trust me.
West Heating and Air Conditioning, 1001 East Celeste, Garland, and Acon Service Company, 3025 Forest Avenue, Fort Worth.
Through 8, we go to the 9th. The Astros up by 7. Last score of 8-1. And we'll have the top of the batting order against the left-hander Jim Umbarger. In the 9th inning, it'll be Terry Poole, Enos Cabell, and then Willie Howard. Same 2 teams tomorrow afternoon from Tulsa's Driller Park. We'll be on the air at 10 minutes until 1 o'clock on the radio side. Game time is 1:05, and on the TV side, KPRC in Houston and along the Astro TV network will be with you at 1 o'clock. Here's the first pitch to Terry Poole. Line drive, base hit in the hole between first and second. So Terry picks up his second base hit of the afternoon, his 3rd trip to first. He's been on 3 out of the 5 times he's been up. 4 hits off Umbarger. The Astros have 10 for the afternoon. Here's Enos Cabell. Here's the pitch. It's low, ball 1. Cabell had a couple of hits early in the ball game to drive home a couple of runs. An off-speed pitch sails up high. 2-0 the count. Cabell goes to the left side in the hole between short and third with a base hit. A chopper into left. Davy May makes the play on in left. Poole stops at second base. So the Astros open the 9th with a couple of base hits. We'll bring Willie Howard up. He'll be making his first plate appearance since taking over as a pinch runner for Cedeno in the 8th inning. Howard now serving as the designated hitter. Cedeno was 2 out of 4 this afternoon. Zamora continues to throw for the Astros in the bullpen. Here's Howard now. Hill is batting .412. 7 out of 17 this spring. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Umbarger's pitch sails in high, ball 1. Poole, the runner at second, Cabell at first. Pitch is made, and there's a shot, a liner out to Alomar at second. He'll step on the bag. They've doubled off Terry Poole, who was racing toward third. Liner up the middle, little sinking liner that Alomar got to just behind the bag. All he had to do was step on second to get the double play. So 2 quick outs with Cabell remaining at first base. Two out, 1 on. Runner at first, and here's Jose Cruz. Umbarger's pitch to the left-handed hitter and a base hit to the left side of the infield. Well, Cabell trots up to second and stops there. Cruz has his 3rd straight hit. After walking and striking out, Jose has doubled and singled twice. 12 hits for the Astros, 8 runs. Here's Bergman. Dave put down a sacrifice as last time and was safe on the error by the catcher Ellis on the bad throw to first. First pitch is inside, ball 1. Officially, Bergman is 0 for 3. Cabell off second, Cruz off first. Here's the pitch, chop foul off the right side. 1-1. Top of the 9th inning. The Astros out in front 8-1. The next pitch is low and away. That'll run it to 2 balls and a strike. Wind continues to blow in from right center. 2-1 pitch, line drive right out to the shortstop Mason, and that retires the side. Bergman hit the ball on the nose, but right to Mason. Inning is over as far as the Astros offensive side is concerned. No runs, 3 hits, no errors. 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 9th with the score. The Astros 8 and the Texas Rangers 1.
Make it good, make it good, make it yours. Make it right for someone special. Make it magic, make it real. Make it natural like a mountain stream beside a green grass field. Make it big and bold and let's see, like the ocean when it rolls. It's what you always wanted. Make it yours. Make it good. For the taste of morning sunshine. Make it good. Make it right for you and me. It's a wide open sky. It's rocking up and high. Make it good. Make it good. Make it yours.
Go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Astros and the Rangers. Rangers will send Richie Zisk to lead off. Claudel Washington is slated to follow. And then Bobby Thompson. Kenny Forsh out on the mound to open his 2nd inning of work. J.R. Richard went to front 7. Here's the pitch to Zisk. It's a high fastball outside. Ball 1. Here's the next pitch. Call strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Kenny right back with the next one. And a foul tip on a swinger. Right back toward the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Zisk is 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and a ground ball to second. 1-2 pitch. He got him. Zisk out on strikes. He caught him looking. 2 strikeouts for Force, 8 for Astro pitching. 1 gone in the ninth, and Claudell Washington will be the hitter. First pitch to Washington, a big swing and a miss. Strike 1. Claudell is 0 for 3. 3 ground balls. Swing and a foul tip in and out of the middle of Ed Herman. 2 strikes to count. Force right back with an excellent swing and a miss. He blew that one by. Fastball up. Good to see Force throw that fastball again. 2 strikeouts in the ninth inning, and Bobby Thompson the batter. Thompson, batting from the left side. He's up for the second time in the ball game. First time up, he grounded out to first. He takes a call strike on the outside corner at the letters. Strike 1. Doc Ellis and Joe Necro tomorrow from Tulsa. Right 2. Boy, that was a good pitch. And Thompson argues with the plate umpire. On the inside part of the plate, down around the knees. Here's the 0-2 from Force. It was a little high. Thompson started to go and checked in time. 1-2 the count. Force into the windup. Here's the pitch. Fly ball back to left field. Dennis Walling going back, still back, and reaches up and makes the catch as he hits the warning track. And that's the ball game. Astros win it by a score of 8-1. In the ninth inning for Texas, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. The Astros win. Here are the totals for the Astros: 8 runs on 12 hits, no errors, and 6 men left. For Texas, 1 run on 5 hits, 3 errors, and 5 men left. The winning pitcher is J.R. Richard. His record is now 1-1. The loser, Doyle Alexander. His swing mark 2-3. Time of the ball game approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes, and the estimated attendance here in Little Rock was 5,100. We'll be back to recap it for you now. Take a look at tomorrow's activity in just a moment. This is where you hear Houston Astros baseball.
Caught you. This thermostat's sitting at 60 degrees.
Hey, I'm dying in here. Do you realize how hot it is?
Well, I'm dying, too, looking at this utility bill, and I've decided to do something about it.
We're going to move up north, right?
Wrong. We're going to get a Fetter's central air conditioning system.
Oh, and we can afford that.
Yeah, because Fetter's air conditioning is better. It has a new rotary compressor for high-efficiency air conditioning. With Fetter's, we can save on cooling bills year after year.
Yeah, year after year, but what about now?
Listen, heard about this today. Now is the best time to buy Fetter's because during April, we'll get a factory rebate on any central air conditioning system. $50 rebate on 2 to 2.5 ton units, $75 on 3 to 3.5 ton units, and $100 on 4 to 5 ton units. Don't worry, we'll be cool this summer with Fetter's.
Okay, if you say so.
Trust me.
Alps Heating and Air Conditioning, 209 Rayburn Garland, and Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning, 323 North Beach Street, Fort Worth.
Now, a sports exclusive on the worst contract in pro football. Why did you sign it, Joe?
It paid me $4,000 per play.
For every play?
Yep.
But that sounds great.
Yeah, well, I only made 1 play all season and broke my leg into little pieces.
Wow, tough break. What did you do?
I applied for earned income credit on my tax return. I'll get up to $400 back from IRS. It's a special tax break for a lot of parents who earn less than $8,000 in 1977. And that's me.
A message from the Internal Revenue Service.
Arkansas, where the Astros have squared this barnstorming tour at a victory apiece after dropping the first one last night in Baton Rouge by a score of 7-5, won it here in resounding fashion this afternoon over the Texas Rangers by a count of 8-1. Good performance, very good performance by J.R. Richard. He went the first 7, allowed 2 hits, no runs, struck out 6, and walked a man. Kenny Force finished up. Going the final 2, he allowed 3 hits and a run, struck out 3, did not walk anybody. Doyle Alexander went the front 6 for Texas, allowing 6 hits and 5 runs, 2 earned runs. He struck out 4 and walked 2. And then Jim Umbarger, the final 3, allowing 6 hits and a run. He did not strike out anyone, and he walked 1 man. 3 runs allowed by Jim Umbarger, and the front 5 by Doyle Alexander. Astros jumped out in front with 3 in the first on an RBI single by Enos Cabell, an error by the pitcher, allowed another run to score on a wild pitch with Jose Cruz at the plate, allowed the 3rd run of the inning to score. RBI singles in the 2nd inning by Terry Poole and Enos Cabell made it a 5-0 ball game. And in the 8th inning, the Astros ran the score out to 8-0 with 3 more runs on a sacrifice fly ball to center field by Dennis Walling and a bases-loaded single to right by Ed Herman, chasing home 2 more. The only run of the ball game for Texas scored in the 8th. Leadoff single by Bump Wills and an RBI single by Kurt Bavacqua scooted him around the bases to make the final score 8-1. Same 2 teams get together now tomorrow afternoon at Tulsa. We'll be on the air at 12:50 on the radio side. Doc Ellis will pitch for the Texas Rangers, and Joe Niekro will be on the mound for the Astros. That ball game will also be on television on KPRC in Houston, as well as the Astro Television Network, and we'll join you on the television side for that ball game at 1 o'clock. All the play-by-play begins at 1:05, the actual activity tomorrow from Driller Park in Tulsa. Well, the barnstorming tour is even at a game apiece. The Astros this spring have won 9 and lost 10 as they prepare to open the season on the 6th of April against the Cincinnati Reds at Riverfront Stadium. Final score here this afternoon, the Astros won it by a count of 8-1. RBIs in the ball game. Terry Poole had 1, Enos Cabell had 2, Dennis Walling had 1, and Ed Herman had 2 more for the Astros. For Gene Elston and Bob Green, I'm Dwayne Stapp saying I hope you enjoyed the broadcast this afternoon and hope you'll join us again tomorrow afternoon from Tulsa when we greet you again with a pregame show at 12:50, the Astros against the Texas Rangers. Final score today at Little Rock, the Astros 8 and the Rangers 1. Today's game has been brought to you by Chevrolet and your neighborhood Chevrolet dealers, who are serving up a fresh new slice of apple pie, the new size, quick size.